Yo, what's going on with y'all? It's your boy Neo XO, and today I'm going to be talking about Black Clover spoilers for chapter 308. So if you don't want spoilers, click off the video, but if you want to talk about it, let's get right into the video. So starting off this chapter, we have Finral and Langris fighting off against Xenon, and they put up a fight against Xenon, but ultimately they did not win. I think it took about 3 pages for Xenon to defeat them. Now, in my opinion, I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like we didn't really expect them to win. I feel like Finral and Langris weren't the ones supposed to take down Xenon. I felt like it was always supposed to be Yuno, and I think that's how Tabata is going to lean this towards. I think in a way Yuno is destined to defeat Xenon. Now this is just my opinion, you know, anybody can have a different opinion, but ultimately Finral and Langris did end up getting defeated by Xenon. And like I said, I really don't think a lot of people thought that they were going to win this fight, but I do think it was cool that Tabata actually let them fight against Xenon. It also shows us the power differential between Langris, Finral, and Xenon. Even though they all have spatial magic, it's just Xenon's spatial magic is completely on a different level. Now, I think this is cool because in the future, we can possibly see Finral or Langris getting to this level that Xenon is currently at. Having witnessed this, maybe that's a reason, you know, because they did face off against him, so they were able to see a strong, like, spatial mage user and see how he utilized it. You know, he had that absolute space. That's a really useful technique. Like, it's really useful in a lot of situations where you basically render most opponents unable to attack you. Now that's something that Finral and Langris could definitely learn from. And not only that, I feel like they got battle experience, so I don't think we should really hate on them for losing. I think they did what they could do, and you know, nobody really knew how strong Xenon was gonna be. Now, right after that happened, shout out to y'all Yuno fans, because this chapter does end up focusing heavily on Yuno. I mean, I know probably a lot of people thought this chapter was gonna take the whole time of Finral and Langris versus Xenon, but actually it switched over to Yuno, which is cool because, you know, like I said, I feel like Yuno is destined to win this fight. Now, when it comes to Yuno, he has a flashback of basically the hard times that he's been going through lately. We all know his squad got completely wiped out, and he has like a flashback of Asta. You know, Asta's kind of like a motivation to him, and also a motivation to him is to save his captain. We know that William is like suffering right now, pretty much. Like, William is suffering, and Yuno is not the type of guy to sit around and let that happen. Now, he is basically on the ground, but he's not gonna stay on the ground because of these thoughts right here. So like, thinking of his friends and thinking of what Xenon has done to them, that basically gives him enough strength. Like, it basically gives Yuno the strength to not give up. Like, it's just something Yuno can definitely never let Xenon get away with. He will never let Xenon get away with it. So he basically used that to his advantage to, you know, keep on going. Like, he could have just stayed on the ground and been like, all right, he's too strong, I can't beat him. But he's like, no, I must continue to push forward. And I think that really is gonna give him an edge in this fight, because, you know, people like Xenon, they just believe in they're stronger, so they're just gonna win. But that's just not how Yuno is, you know, influenced, because people like Asta really do have an influence on Yuno. Now, like I said, this is a heavy Yuno chapter, so like right after he has these flashbacks, he gets enough strength and he kind of gets up, and there's this disembodied voice that seems to be communicating with Yuno. And right after this, Yuno gets a second grimoire. Yes, like, that's crazy right there. That is really crazy. That is my favorite thing that has happened to Yuno in this entire arc. You guys can let me know what you guys think, but in my opinion, Yuno getting this grimoire is definitely my favorite thing that has happened to Yuno in this arc. Like, I'm not even thinking about Spirit of Boreas, Spirit of Eurus. I'm not thinking about none of that. My thing right here, I believe that him getting this second grimoire is the highlight of Yuno in the Spade arc. Now, you guys are free to disagree with me, but going forward in the future, I can guarantee this grimoire is going to be a integral part of his arsenal. This is going to give him access to abilities that he was not able to access with only one grimoire. Now, there's some things that are left up in the air. that's kind of a pun, because where I'm going with this, we don't know what the Grimoire is. We know a couple things about the Grimoire. One, we know it is from the Spade Kingdom, so that's interesting, because that tells us the second thing. It probably recognizes Yuno as, the offspring of the king, or it just recognizes him as, native to the Spade Kingdom, because we all know that Yuno is native to the Spade Kingdom. And it seems like this Grimoire recognizes Yuno, because Yuno doesn't seem to know what's going on. Like, he's kind of in shock, just like the rest of it. He's like, why did I get a new Grimoire? And he's like, eventually he catches on, and he's like, all right, I got a second Grimoire. I have a like a urge to continue fighting. So he gets back up, and he's going to fight against Xenon. Now he's still in his base form. However, he has two Grimoires, one from the Spade Kingdom and one from the Clover Kingdom. So it's kind of one of those things where, what kind of power is this second Grimoire going to unlock? And the reason I say this is very, the highlight of Yuno in this whole entire arc, because first of all, Yuno is getting a lot of screen time in the past couple of chapters. And how many characters do you know that have two Grimoires? You really don't know any, characters with two Grimoires. Like, it's not a common thing. I mean, I suppose you can like make the argument for Mars, and in Mars's case, he's able to have two different magic attributes. So I'll keep, we should keep that possibility open for Yuno. Maybe he has another magic attribute stemming from the second Grimoire of the Spade Kingdom. The other possibility is it's another Wind Grimoire, which, will just power up his already strong wind magic. So there's just a lot of opportunities in this Grimoire. And then something we know about Yuno's Clover Kingdom Grimoire, it has lore behind it. All right, it's a 4-leaf Grimoire, and that's not normal. The 4-leaf Grimoires are reserved for kind of people who deserve like high recognition for their high capacity of mana and stuff like that. The first Wizard King had one, and Licht had one, and Yuno had one. So I'm something I want to see more is this Spade Kingdom Grimoire that Yuno has just acquired. I want to see like the lore behind it. Like, I don't think that, me personally, I'm gonna say this right for my initial thoughts, like just from the reveal of it, I don't think that that's a regular Spade Kingdom Grimoire. Now, I might be completely wrong, and it's basically the Spade Kingdom's equivalent of a 3-leaf Grimoire. But considering Yuno has already had, a 4-leaf Grimoire, it would make sense that if he's getting a Spade Kingdom Grimoire, it would recognize him as strong enough to get one of the stronger Grimoires, or better, because why would he get like a Spade Kingdom Grimoire if it's just going to be weaker than his Clover Kingdom Grimoire? So I expect them to be equal in strength, or his Spade Kingdom Grimoire is going to be greater in strength, but they're more than likely going to be equal in strength, and they're just going to have like different, there's just going to be something that differentiates the two that gives him an edge in battle, because we know that with the one Grimoire he was not able to defeat Xenon. But now, since he has these two Grimoires, like, he should be able to defeat Xenon. And, I think that he ultimately will. Like, I want to say that he's going to defeat Xenon, but at the same time, I wouldn't put him past, like, needing help. But, like, me personally, this is what I want to see. I want to see Yuno actually defeat Xenon. I don't want to see, somebody come in, take the final hit on Xenon. Yuno literally has new forms, and he has a newly acquired Grimoire. I want to see what Yuno can do against Xenon, and see how far he can push Xenon and possibly defeat Xenon. So now Xenon basically got a new acquired power, and so did Yuno. All right, so they both just got new acquired power, so they should be somewhere on the same fighting field. They should be on the same fighting level somewhat. We're just gonna have to see, since they both got new power-ups. All right, so basically in Xenon's case, he acquired more devil power from Beelzebub, and in Yuno's case, he acquired another Grimoire from the Spade Kingdom. 2 Grimoires, 2 countries, 2 kingdoms. So we're just gonna have to see how that plays out. That's pretty much all I have to say in this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and if you did, go ahead and leave it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. As always, it's been your boy NeoXO, and I'm out.